Some plants are absolutely stunning, lush, colorful, full of life, but behind that beauty, a few of them hide some nasty little secrets. You'd be surprised how many dangerous plants are sitting right there on nursery shelves, waiting to come home with you. And I'm not just talking about the exotic ones. Some of the most toxic, harmful, and downright risky plants are the ones we see every day. Welcome to Plant Studio. In today's video, we're uncovering 7 of the most dangerous plants you should never buy from nurseries. And of course, I'll share some safe, beautiful alternatives that will keep your garden, your pets, and your family out of harm's way. So before you grab that pretty plant on your next visit to the garden center, let's take a closer look at what might be hiding behind those petals. Plant 1, Rhododendron and Azalea. First on our list is a real heartbreaker, the rhododendron and its close cousin, the azalea. These are the pride of many gardens, especially in spring. With their big, trumpet-shaped blooms and glossy green leaves, they light up yards and walkways like a floral fireworks display. I've always admired their beauty, those pinks, purples, and whites that seem to glow after a spring rain. But here's the thing. Both rhododendrons and azaleas contain toxins known as granotoxins. Even a small amount of leaf or flower, if ingested, can cause drooling, vomiting, or worse in pets. And for livestock or wildlife, the effects can be much more serious. There's even a story from ancient Greece where soldiers became sick after eating honey made from rhododendron nectar. It was called mad honey. That's how potent this plant can be. It's a real shame because they're such classics, and they grow so well in acidic soil. But if you want that same evergreen beauty, those glossy leaves and long-lasting blooms, there's a perfect, safer choice: camellia. Camellias have elegant rose-like flowers that appear in shades of red, pink, or white, and they're completely non-toxic. They stay green all year, bloom beautifully in cooler months, and make your garden feel timeless. So if you've ever wanted a gentler, safer alternative to rhododendrons, camellias are your answer. Same beauty, no hidden sting. Plant 2, lily. The lily. One of the most elegant and fragrant flowers you'll ever find. Those tall stems, those pure white or deep-colored blooms, that sweet scent drifting through the air. It's easy to see why lilies are a classic in so many gardens and bouquets. But what most people don't realize is that lilies are extremely toxic, especially to cats, and I mean dangerously so. Even just brushing against the pollen or drinking from a vase of lily water can cause kidney failure in cats, often within hours. It's heartbreaking because we see lilies everywhere, at Easter, at weddings, even in sympathy arrangements, and yet very few people know how deadly they can be to our furry companions. Dogs can get sick from them too, though cats are far more sensitive. I still remember a neighbor calling me in a panic after her cat got into a bouquet. One quick trip to the vet, and thankfully, they caught it early. But it was a scary lesson for both of us. So if you share your home with cats, it's best to admire lilies from afar, or in pictures. There are plenty of safe alternatives that give you the same beauty without the worry. My favorite substitute, the daylily hybrids, Hemeroculus. They're vibrant, hardy, and completely safe for pets. They come in every color you can imagine, and they bloom longer than most true lilies. So trade danger for delight, grow daylilies instead. You'll still get that graceful look and summer charm with peace of mind blooming right beside it. Plant 3, Oleander. Next, the oleander. It's one of those plants that makes you stop and stare. Glossy green leaves, clusters of pink or white flowers, and that effortless Mediterranean charm. You see it lining driveways, parks, and even sold as a hardy ornamental shrub at garden centers. But what most people don't know is every single part of this plant is extremely toxic. Just one leaf, if accidentally ingested by a child or a pet, can cause severe poisoning. Even the sap can irritate your skin or eyes if you're not careful. It's one of those plants that looks too innocent for how dangerous it truly is. And here's the tricky part. Oleander is incredibly drought tolerant, so it's often promoted as a tough or low-maintenance plant, especially in warmer regions. But toughness doesn't mean safety. If you already have one growing, it's best to handle it with gloves. Keep it trimmed safely away from walkways, and never burn the trimmings. The smoke can be toxic too. Now, if you love that bold color and want something just as striking but completely safe, go for the bottlebrush plant, also known as callistemon. It has the same sun-loving nature and those eye-catching red blooms that bees and hummingbirds adore, without any of the danger. A perfect reminder that beauty and safety can absolutely grow side by side. Plant 4, Dieffenbachia, dumb cane. Our next plant might look innocent sitting in the corner of a living room, but it's one that's earned quite the reputation, the Dieffenbachia, also known as dumb cane. It's a popular indoor plant for good reason. It's easy to grow, thrives in low light, and those big patterned leaves add a tropical touch to any space. You'll find it in offices, lobbies, and homes everywhere. But despite its beauty, Dieffenbachia has a dark side. The plant's sap contains sharp, needle-like crystals called calcium oxalate. If the leaves or stems are chewed by pets or even small children, those crystals can cause intense burning, swelling, and numbness of the mouth and throat. That's actually where the name dumb cane came from. The swelling can make it temporarily difficult to speak. Even for adults, simply pruning or repotting the plant without gloves can lead to skin irritation if the sap touches your hand. And if you accidentally rub your eyes afterward, well, that's a mistake you'll only make once. So while Dieffenbachia is easy to care for, it's just not worth the risk in a household with pets, grandkids, or sensitive skin. A wonderful and much safer alternative is the parlor palm, also known as Chimanodorea elegans. It's elegant, pet-safe, and thrives in the same indoor conditions. The parlor palm gives you that same lush greenery, without any of the worry. A true win for both beauty and safety. Sometimes the safest plants are also the most peaceful ones. Plant 5, Foxglove. Next up is one of the most enchanting flowers you'll ever see, the foxglove. Those tall spires filled with bell-shaped blossoms look like something out of a storybook garden. They sway gently in the breeze, draw in hummingbirds, and add that magical cottage feel every gardener loves. But here's what many people don't realize. Foxglove is also one of the most poisonous plants you can grow. Every part of this plant, the leaves, the flowers, even the seeds, contains compounds called digitalis glycosides. These are the same chemicals used to make heart medication, and while they can save lives in precise doses, a single nibble from a curious pet or child can cause serious heart problems. And it's not just ingestion. Even handling the leaves and then touching your face or mouth can lead to irritation. It's one of those plants that demands respect, or better yet, avoidance. The sad thing is, foxglove looks so innocent that gardeners, especially those who love the old-fashioned cottage look, often plant it without knowing its dark side. But don't worry, if you adore that tall, spiky shape and those pastel shades, there's a safer, equally lovely choice: snapdragons. They come in every color imaginable. They're cheerful, non-toxic, and they bring that same vertical charm to your borders or containers. So, skip the foxglove drama and let the snapdragons steal the show. They'll reward you with months of happy blooms and peace of mind. Plant 6, daffodils. Now let's talk about a spring favorite, the daffodil. When those bright yellow blooms pop up after a long winter, they're like little rays of sunshine cheering up the garden. For many of us, daffodils mark the true beginning of spring, that hopeful moment when the soil wakes up and everything feels new again. But here's something most gardeners don't realize. Those cheerful bulbs hide a toxic secret. The daffodil plant, especially the bulb, contains a chemical called licorene. If accidentally ingested, even in small amounts, it can cause nausea, vomiting, and stomach upset. And it's not just pets at risk. Gardeners themselves sometimes get what's called daffodil itch, a rash or irritation, from handling the bulbs without gloves. The sap can be quite harsh on sensitive skin. The trouble is, daffodil bulbs look a lot like onions when they're out of the ground, and it's surprisingly easy to mix them up if they're stored in the kitchen by mistake, something that's happened more than once to unsuspecting gardeners. Now, does that mean you have to say goodbye to spring color? Not at all. For a safer and equally stunning alternative, try tulips or crocuses. They bring that same burst of early color and joy to your garden, without the toxic risk. So the next time you're planting for spring, let your garden glow safely. Your pets and your hands will thank you for it. Plant 7, pothos, devil's ivy. And finally, we come to a real showstopper, the pothos, also known as devil's ivy. And I get it. It's a hard one not to love. Those trailing vines, heart-shaped leaves, and its easygoing nature make it one of the most forgiving houseplants around. You can neglect it for weeks, forget to water it, and it still rewards you with growth. That's why it's often called the perfect beginner's plant. But here's the catch. Pothos is mildly toxic to both humans and pets. The leaves contain calcium oxalate crystals, similar to Dieffenbachia, If chewed, they can cause mouth irritation, drooling, and swelling. It's not usually fatal, but it can be painful and distressing, especially for curious cats or dogs that love to nibble on foliage. I once had a viewer share that their cat got into a hanging pothos and ended up at the vet. Thankfully, the cat was fine, but it was a good reminder that easy care doesn't always mean carefree. So if you love that trailing, cascading look, but want something worry-free, go for a spider plant, Chlorophytum comosum. It's just as resilient, grows those lovely arching leaves, and even produces adorable baby offshoots that dangle down like green ribbons. Best of all, it's completely safe for pets. So trade the devil's ivy for the angelic spider plant. Same beauty, zero stress. So tell me, did any of these surprise you? If you've ever had to remove a plant after finding out it wasn't safe, or if you have your own favorite safe alternatives, I'd love to hear your story down in the comments. Sharing your experiences helps other gardeners too, and that's what this community is all about. Remember, gardening isn't just about what looks good. It's about creating a space that feels good too. A place that's full of life, color, and peace of mind. Happy gardening, everyone.